Reading Rocket!
Disney Pixar Inside Out 2, The Junior Novelization, Chapter 12. Anxiety pounded her fist on the console in frustration. They were so close to creating a new, improved Riley. And now that sunny-side-up vigilante Joy was ruining her plans. Joy doesn't get it, Anxiety fretted. Without our projections, we won't be prepared. Tomorrow's game is everything. Coach will either make us a firehawk or doom us to a friendless future, Envy agreed. Anxiety knitted her fingers together, furrowing her brow. I wish we knew what Coach thought of us. That would help us impress her. Envy's face lit up. Her notebook! Yes, cried Anxiety. She pulled up a memory of Coach's red notebook sitting on a desk in her office. Anxiety nodded. This was what they needed. All they had to do was get Riley to sneak into Coach's office and read it. She went to the console and started to drive. Riley's eyes snapped open. She sat up in bed and threw back the covers. But as she placed her feet on the floor, she hesitated. Come on, Riley, move those feet, Anxiety commanded. She tapped the keys harder. Riley still wouldn't move. She doesn't want to, Envy observed. Her beliefs won't let her. Okay, are we pushing her too far? Anxiety asked hesitantly. We gotta see what's in the notebook, said Envy. Riley's future depends on it. Anxiety sighed. Well then, there's only one thing to do. She tapped in the code to summon the elevator to the belief system. Then she picked up a pair of scissors. When the elevator doors opened, Anxiety stepped inside. I'll be right back, she told the others. Down in the belief system, Anxiety looked around at the glowing threads. She plucked a golden thread and heard Riley's voice speak the belief. Everything happens for a reason. Aw, Anxiety said. She plucked another. I'm a nice person. And another. Follow the rules. That was the one. Anxiety raised her scissors. But as she closed them over the shining belief, Anxiety paused. Was this right? She didn't want to hurt Riley. Anxiety reached out and plucked a different belief. If I'm a firehawk, I won't be alone. Anxiety knew what she had to do. With a quick snip, she cut the follow the rules thread in two. Sadness crouched behind the pile of manuals near the memory sphere shelves. She had been relieved when Riley resisted Anxiety's plan, but something had changed. From her hiding place, Sadness watched helplessly as Riley left her dorm room, quickly walking down the silent hallway. This wasn't the Riley she knew. She had to do something. Sadness pulled out her walkie-talkie and hit a button. Joy! Come in! Joy! She quietly pleaded. A second later, Joy's voice crackled over the line. Sadness? Is that you? There was a roaring sound like wind. Sadness thought she could hear fear screaming in the background. She lowered the volume on the walkie-talkie. You're breaking up, Joy told her as she clung to the balloon's rope. Anxiety's making Riley break into the coach's office, Sadness whispered into the walkie-talkie. The emotions were shocked. Riley knew better than to disregard the rules. When she'd stolen her mom's credit card, she'd felt guilty for a month. She swore she'd never do anything like that again. Why was Riley acting so weird? Joy's reply over the walkie-talkie came in static bursts. Sadness, you have to stop her. Just don't get caught. That was what Sadness thought Joy had said. When she tried the connection again, it was dead. Sadness wrung her hands. What should she do? On the console screen, she could see Riley trying to open one of the ice rink doors. It was locked. For a fleeting moment, Sadness hoped that would be the end of it. But the next door that Riley tried opened. She slipped inside and crept down the dark hallway to Coach Roberts' office. Through the office window, she could see the red notebook lying on the coach's desk. Just then, a beam of a flashlight rounded the hallway corner. A security guard was coming. Riley slipped inside the coach's office and locked the door behind her. She pressed herself up against the wall behind the door. The doorknob jiggled. Through the window, the flashlight beam swept around the room. Riley held her breath. A second later, the security guard's footsteps moved on down the hall. Sadness couldn't stand it any longer. She had to do something. But what? Her eyes fell on Ennui. The bored emotion was staring dully at the console screen. Her arm was stretched across the back of the couch, her phone dangling from her fingers. Sadness decided she would help Riley the only way she knew how. Riley approached Coach's desk. She picked up the red notebook, but as she went to open the cover, she started to cry. She put the book down. "What happened?" Anxiety asked, confused. Then she looked at the console. It was blue. Only one emotion made the console blue. Sadness? Anxiety turned to Ennui. "Where's your phone?" Ennui frantically checked her pockets. "Oh la la! My phone! Where is my phone? Seriously? This is not happening!" she cried. "Okay, she's here somewhere. Find her," Anxiety commanded. Anxiety, Ennui, and Envy began to tear headquarters apart looking for Sadness. Embarrassment joined the hunt, but he secretly hoped Sadness wouldn't be discovered. Hiding under the covers of her bed, Sadness desperately drove the console on Ennui's phone. She had only a few moments. She had to get Riley out of the coach's office. But the light of the phone shining through the sheets gave Sadness's location away. "Sadness?" Anxiety said. No," Sadness replied. Anxiety flipped the covers off Sadness's body and took the phone from her hands. "I know Riley sneaking around feels wrong, but it's the only way to help her," she explained. "This isn't who Riley is," Sadness pleaded. "It's not about who Riley is," Anxiety said with exaggerated patience. "It's about who she needs to be." "No, I won't let you do this," Sadness said. Anxiety sighed. Soon Sadness found herself standing in a bucket suspended from the ceiling near the console. At least she still had the walkie-talkie. For now, there was nothing she could do but watch Anxiety's plans unfold. Anxiety stepped up to the console and began to drive. Riley stopped crying. She picked up the notebook and flipped through the pages until she found her name. She squinted at the coach's scrawl. Anderson, not ready yet. Riley's heart plunged to her feet. The emotion stared at the console screen, stunned. This was the worst news they could get. "What? Wait, Coach already decided? We're not making the team?" Anxiety asked, not wanting to believe it. "This can't be happening," Envy said, grasping for air. "What do we do? What do we do?" Anxiety furrowed her brow. She began to pace. "Well, we're going to have to change Coach's mind, which means we're gonna need ideas, lots of them." Anxiety grabbed a lever on the console and began to crank it. Round and round she turned, faster and faster. As the leveler turned, the air outside began to stir. The breeze became a wind. Dark clouds rolled towards headquarters, and thunder rumbled. A brainstorm was beginning to take shape. Anxiety cranked the lever harder.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe for regular uploads. If you have a favorite book you'd like read, go ahead and leave it in the comments. Until next time, friends!